only thing that I ask is if you need to ask the instructor a question, that you wait until you get the mic to do that, so the people online will be able to hear your question and her answer. And Victoria Wright will introduce her own self to you and tell you who she is, and start the class in 2 minutes. But we normally start exactly at 2:30. You can grab any of the handouts. They're also on the racks over there. So as she talks about various things, you will be able to have a copy of it. We welcome all of you to class today on behalf of our dear life and our chairman officer, Shannon E. Andrews. Hope that you get all that you want out of the class today. And you can just start at 2:30 because I've already pressed go live. So anything you say or do will be held against you.
Hi, my name is Victoria Wright. I am a Senior Certification Officer in Department of Procurement Services. This is Regents Norwood. She's also a Senior Certification Officer. One of us may have had your file, maybe not. So I sort of like to go around the room to find out who's in the room, what you all do, and if you are certified or not. Some people do come to this class before they actually go through the certification process. So we'll start here and go around, and just so I know who's here. Company? What's the company? Okay. Are you already certified with us? The county? So you got your, but do you have MBE or WE with the county? So you don't need to get it with us because it's reciprocal, but you got the DBE through the city. Oh, you did it through somebody else? Oh, okay. Well, you're good then. You don't need to come through the city. I'm glad you said that because sometimes people do come to this class and think, oh, now I got to go to the county and get it, if they don't know that it's reciprocal. So you don't have to do both anymore. Okay, right here.
Hi, my name is Lily. I'm owner of Pertinent Construction Inc. We're a general construction company, and we just got certified WBE and MBE this past May.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
I'm Jerry Hernandez, owner of Savory Crust. We are a gourmet and banana shop and service casual restaurant. And I am ACDP, WBE, and
Okay. With the city?
yes.
All right. All right. I did have your file. Nice to meet you face to face.
I'm president of Financial Understanding Now, LLC, financial education and counseling firm, working with people to help them prepare for future financial stability.
Okay.
I am certified by the city.
Yes, she is.
This is my food now.
Yep. Okay, so I've been doing these classes for a long time. I go out and talk to the public all the time. The most important thing you can do as a certified company is to network. You have to network, you have to advertise, you have to attend events. Attending events is just the beginning because what your end goal should always be is to have a face-to-face meeting with whoever it is that you're trying to do business with. So Department of Procurement Services has 2 big events every year. We have a construction summit and we have a vendors fair. So the construction summit is usually around February. Our vendor fair is around May or June. And even though you might hear construction summit and think, I don't really do construction, you never know who else is going to be in the room. So you want to be able to mingle. Vendor fair that we have is huge. We usually have it at UIC Forum. I don't know if they're going to have to move it because it's gotten even bigger. And we have a lot of vendors. So it's your opportunity not just to talk to the agencies, but I always tell people don't forget to talk to the people who are walking around the room. So if you see people who want to give you their card, take their card, pass out your card. So those are really important. Depending on what you do, it will depend on what agencies you want to be in contact with. So what other city agencies, not just the city departments, and people get this mixed up all the time. CTA is their own agency. Chicago Park District are their own agency. The Park District, CPS, CTA, all of those places are their own agencies. They have their own procurement process. So just because it has Chicago in it, in front of it, doesn't mean that their procurement process is the same as ours. So city departments are handled by Department of Procurement Services, but there are also those other agencies, and actually in the, I think it's in the back of this presentation, that we have information about all the other city agencies like Public Building Commission, Water Reclamation District. So the best thing you can do when you go out is to have a good business card and a capability statement. So a business card, I can't tell you how many times I've been out and I get a business card that I cannot tell what the person does. So if all the card says is Smith and Company with a phone number, what do you think happens to that card? It goes in the garbage. So if you pass it out to somebody, you might have had a great conversation with that person and you give them the card and they get back to their office, but they look at the card and they can't remember which person it is they spoke to. So your business card needs to be something where they can tell what you do. You don't want it to be too busy. You don't want to spend too much money on it. You want it to have the information needed, your phone number, your email address, and somewhere on that card that tells a person what you do. The other most important thing is now that you're certified, you want to put MBE on it or WBE on it. It should be on your card that you're MBE, WBE, DBE, ACDBE. If you're all of them, put all of them on it. If, you know, that's what it's for, is to market yourself as someone who can be used as a subcontractor. So create a capability statement. I cannot stress this enough that small businesses don't always have a capability statement. And a capability statement does not have to be a book. It could be one page. If you've never seen one, you can Google one, but I did try to put a little picture on here of a capability statement. But if you Google capability statement, it can show you different styles. So basically, if you've had contracts, you might want to put on your capability statement who you've had contracts with. What did you accomplish in those contracts? What services did you provide? People in construction, I always tell them to put pictures, because if you did a before and after, put the pictures on the capability statement. Print it out in color. Take it to Staples. You can, create it at home and then take it to Staples or one of these Office Max and let them make it look pretty. Put the color on there. Put it on shiny paper, something that makes it stand out. And if you're a bigger company, then you might go into making it a book and 2 pages, 3 pages. But if you're just a small business who just got started, it's okay to have a 1-page capability statement. And then you can always staple your business card to the capability statement. But that's a good resource to have when you network. And I want to go back to the statement about a face-to-face meeting. The most important thing you can do for a face-to-face meeting is to show up on time. Okay, take the handouts out there on the table. So yeah, you do not want to show up on time for a face-to-face. You want to show up early for a face-to-face. You want to go in professional. I went to an event once where it was a guy who had a pretty established business, but he was frustrated for not getting contracts, and you could hear it in his voice. So even though we were in an atmosphere like this with other businesses, you could hear it in his voice that he was getting frustrated, even though he was getting meetings, but he wasn't getting the contracts. So I had to try to calm him down and say, maybe you're not the person that should be having the meetings. Maybe you need a marketing person, someone who can schmooze and talk to people and tell people why you're the greatest. So if I go in for you, I'm going to talk about you, and I'm going to tell that person why your company is the greatest. Sometimes we're not the person that should be doing that, but you have to know that, and you need to know that you should be on time, be professional, go in professional. So utilize all of your resources. That's why I asked that. I'm hoping everybody picked up everything off the table. So you need to check websites, and on the websites, I'll tell you, if you put in a name of an agency, you put /procurement behind it, it usually takes you to their contracts page. So if you're interested in doing work for Chicago Public Schools, if you do www.cps/procurement, it will more than likely take you to their procurement page. I think it's cps.edu/procurement. But if you put procurement behind it, it'll take you directly to their page. You need to know their rules. So if the city of Chicago's rules for a bid is to be in by 11, that doesn't mean everybody's rule is 11. Somebody else's rule might be 9 o'clock. So you need to know all the rules for submitting a bid. You need to know all the rules about who can submit a bid. You have to read the information before you're ready to submit. So you check their websites, you check our websites. Sign up for online notifications. So is everybody in here already signed up for DPS alerts? So that's a good thing. Everybody gets DPS alerts. And our most important thing that goes out every Monday is our bid opportunity list. So these are the bids that are actually on the street every Monday. And these are ready to be bid on. So I'm not sure if everything, I know we were going electronic. I'm not sure if all the bids are electronic now or if you still come here to pick them up. So it used to be that you came here, you picked up a CD to get all the information that you need for a bid. I had a lady just call me this week, and I do certification, but she was asking me about a bid. But the best thing I could do was send her back to this bid opportunity list. The most important thing on this list is the procurement specialist. So we have procurement specialists in procurement services who handles contracts. So the lady had a question about a bid that I couldn't answer, so I had to get her back to this bid opportunity list and make sure she contacted the procurement specialist. So if you ever decide to bid and you have a question, you contact the specialist that's on that contract and they'll answer if they can. Because everything that you ask, we can't necessarily tell. We can't tell you how much you should bid. Well, do you think I should bid $10,000 or $20,000? We can't tell you that. So we can give you as much information as we can, and that is something you should definitely sign up for, is to receive the bid opportunity list. Attend workshops like this. We have over 15 workshops. There's a workshop every Wednesday and some Thursdays. Other agencies have workshops. I know Cook County has workshops. So almost any agency that has contracts, they do workshops because they want you to do your work before you bid on something. The buy-in plan, and that was something that was out in the hallway. I almost call it our Bible. It's getting thicker and thicker. This is a contract Bible. I'm not trying to get religious but we have so many agencies in this book, and it comes out quarterly, and it's all the contracts that are going to come out in the next 12 months. So you can look in here to find out what's going to come out, possibly when it's going to come out. Because I'm going to tell you, you can't hold us to these dates. Because sometimes stuff gets pushed back. If there's no money, the date can get pushed back. If the paperwork is not ready, it can get pushed back. But it can be helpful for you, because if you see something for security is coming out in January, you can prepare to be ready to start looking for it in January. If it's something for training, then you can be ready to look for it in March of 2020. So then you would know at that time that you should be checking that bid opportunity list in that time frame, because you know when it's coming out. And that's for the city. Now, the other agencies, I do think they have bid opportunity lists, but at least you have their buying plan, so you'll know what they're going to purchase as well. Another good resource I think that's my next slide. Well, I'm gonna jump ahead because I was gonna say there's a wealth of information on our website. Two things I want you to know about on our website. Everything, it is a little bit ahead. So every contract that has gone out with the city of Chicago, you can find it on our website. Why is that helpful? So if you did landscaping and you want to see who has the contract right now for landscaping, you can go to our website, and this isn't the page, but on the front of the page, on the site, the front of the site, it says awarded contracts. So if you go to awarded contracts, you type in landscaping, it's going to let you know all the companies that have landscaping contracts. So that's good for you if you're in landscaping, because you can see what the contract looks like, and you can see what that company bid the last time. So then if you see in January 2020, landscaping is going back out to bid, you want to read that contract, the last one, and you want to see what, and I'm just using this as an example, I don't know if this is really a company, ABC Landscaping, what did they bid? So you can see what they bid, so you can compare it to what you think you might need to bid. And of course, if they got the contract 10 years ago, it's okay to go up because costs go up. So if you bid what they bid 10 years ago, you might be undercutting yourself. But that's a tool for you to use when it's time for you to bid on something. One second. And the other thing is a bid takeout list. So everybody who takes out a bid for landscaping, like I said, I believe you're still gonna come downstairs to this room. We take a business card for everybody who took out that bid. How is that good for you? Because you can see who your competition is. So if you do security and two people behind you do security and they came to pick up the bid and you came to pick up the bid, you can go to our website and it's a link called Bid Takeout List, and you can see who took it out. So say it's $1 million contract and you see two other companies took out the bid because they're going to bid, and you're like, wow, I can't do a $10 million job. But you might want to contact those other two companies and say, hey, can we work together? Or can I do something for you? Most construction contracts have a pre-bid meeting. I tell people all the time, attend the pre-bid meeting. Even though it's construction, doesn't mean that you're going to bid, but you might want to meet the people that's in the room. Even if you're not going to do construction, you might do landscaping. You might do fence. You might do accounting. And that might sound crazy. It's like, well, how am I going to do something as an accountant for a construction company? You don't know if they have their own accounting. You might be a sub to a sub. So it's always good to know where to show up and know where to give out your business cards. And then when you have that bid takeout list, it's there because it's okay for you to contact those people. That's why we put it out there, and it's considered the transparency of DPS. So on our website, we have most recent news, what we do, and the three important things we do in DPS is certification, compliance on all contracts, and then contracts. It might not be in that order, so maybe you get certified first, then you get a contract, and then you got to go through compliance because you have to stay in compliance with whatever's in the contract. Supporting information, those are all the documents that you might need while you're on a contract. City data is not just procurement. City data is, there's a data portal that has all kind of different information for the city of Chicago. And then rules and regulations. I can't tell you how much every day we in certification get calls, and we were like, if they just read the rules and regs, please read the rules and regs, because that becomes an issue when it's time for you to get certified if you didn't read the rules and regs. I know most people just jump in and do the application, but if you don't read the rules and regs, and then there's also rules and regs about being in compliance with contracts. So I want to go back to this slide for utilizing your resources. We talked about the buying plan, we talked about DPS alerts, we talked about workshops. This is the bid and bond room. So like I said, if you haven't saw something you want to bid on, this is the room where they read the bids most definitely. Because once something closes, they read the bids out loud, and they read what each individual company bid. So you can't say, well, I think I bid it lower than this company. No, because we're reading it out loud, and it's recorded. So almost everything in this room now, like Jackie said, is live streamed. So when we read a bid, it's live streamed. When we do these workshops, it's live streamed on YouTube, but you can always go back. So another thing is, if you see some workshops that are in our book that you want more information, you can just stay at home and watch an old video. You might not be able to ask questions.
Do that at 2 a.m.
Yes. So like today's class, because I think it was actually 14 people scheduled for this class, they can watch it from home. You just won't. Really? Okay. Yeah. So you can watch from home. You just can't ask questions. And then, so it's 15 different classes. If you want to go on there and listen to all 15 classes, you can. The Small Business Center, I highly recommend to most people the Small Business Center, which is Business Affairs and Consumer Protection in room 805. Procurement Services in room 806. Business Affairs is in room 805. They have great workshops for small businesses. I always say people need to stop there before they decide to become certified, because that's where you go to make sure you have all the correct license. They help you with startup money. They help you with marketing plans, business plans. If you need a lawyer that maybe you can't afford a lawyer, I think one day a week they have a free lawyer in that office, when you can actually come and say, well, hey, do I need a patent for this? Hey, do I need a license for that? You can go to room 805 and they will answer all your questions. Sometimes we need to go talk to BACP, because if somebody has a certification application that we need to make sure you need a license, we go to BACP to ask them, because that's where you start to find out what you need in licensing as well as location. So I'll tell you a story that it was in one of the classes. A guy told us that he rented a location for a car wash, had signed the lease, and then found out he couldn't have that much water at that location. But he had already signed the lease to open a car wash. So if he had just went to BACP first, they could have told him what the rule was about setting up a car wash in a certain location, just like liquor stores. We all know now you cannot have a liquor store close to a school or a daycare, so don't go sign a lease and think I'm going to open up a liquor store, but you didn't check first. So that's what BACP is really, really good for. Even if it's just the smallest question, you can call there, you can go up there. And I think if you go up, they actually assign somebody to you, so that in the future, you have someone to call at all times. So you might meet with them today, but next week or next month, if you still have a question, that's your person. So you have that person that you can call at all times. So this is also updated on our website. Most recent news, we have auctions. I don't know if you all know that, but the city of Chicago auctions off old materials. So there's when you go to that first link, it's surplus and city stuff that they auction off. So contract administration, those are all the forms and documents that you need when you're about to bid or once you have already won a contract. The barred firms, none of you will be on that list, right? Right. Nobody's going to be debarred. The diversity credit, that's an incentive, small business programs. Those are all incentives. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Events and outreach are always listed on our website. I'm pretty sure that's how you all register for this class. The MBE WBE page. That page is good, and I don't know if any of you went to that page while you were doing your certification, but it has the rules and regs, it has the individual documents that you need, everything certification. The Procurement Reform Task Force, quick question, because I have to repeat it, and I'm going to repeat your question. I answered? Good, okay.
I was just wondering, what's the, I know we're supposed to be certified by the time we sit there, but what's the timeline for certification? You hit send and you do it all right the first time, is it 12 months?
Well, see, you missed the first part of my class.
Well,
So you don't, people come.
no, I'm cheating on you because I already started with Cook County because they told me it was only going to take 90 days. So,
Well, that's what we say.
okay, but he told me that you guys might not be able to do it up to it. But I didn't know, so I went ahead.
Why you go talk to them before you talk to us? No, but it's reciprocal. So her question was, how long does it take and if people do come and take this class all the time before they actually get certified?
I worked for a bunch of little WPP and MPP companies over the years.
Okay, so it's the city and the county certification is reciprocal. If you go with the county, you don't need to get the one with the city. If you already paid them $250, don't pay us $250. Oh, okay. Well, we take about the same time. Yes. Once you hit submit, it could take 7 days for us to receive it. You have to receive an invoice. You have to pay the $250. It has to be assigned. So that could be 2 weeks past right there before we even get to actually starting the audit. And we tell people once you start the audit, you're going to more than likely get a request for information. And once we get all the documents, that's when the clock starts, which could already be 30 days. So that's why we say we try to get it out the door before that long. Did you have a question before I keep going?
Yeah, during the certification process with the city of Chicago, like, I signed up for other classes, it says like, I'm not too familiar with, because I signed up for it, you know, you have to put your business name and stage right in.
So wait, are you saying you signed up to become certified or you signed up for workshops
I signed up to be MD,
to get certified?
certified with MD,
So you're still doing the application?
yeah,
What's your company?
Lead. Lead, but it's DBA, TK Lead Clean.
Okay. If you haven't hit submit, we haven't even looked at it yet. If it's still in the process, you submitted it already? How long ago? With the city or the county? Okay, we're going to talk about that later because I'm the one who receives. And I know I don't have any documents that old that I have not received. So if you want to give me your card afterwards, I will look it up. But I definitely don't have any files that old that are brand new that I haven't received. I try to receive every Monday, and I take at least 10 to 12 in every Monday. And I haven't seen that one. But we could talk after this. So everything on here, e-procurement is fairly new, and that's because the city is trying to move everything to electronic. So I'm sure there'll be, there's a e-procurement class quarterly that they talk about e-procurement, how to do a economic disclosure statement. Wait, that's probably the next slide. Yep. E-procurement is an advancement to business to government that applies digital technology to the acquisition of goods and services. The portal for vendors, iSupplier, will be a full-service resource for vendors and those interested in doing business with the city of Chicago. So basically, it's still in the baby stages, but we're all using it. The departments are starting to use it. It's supposed to be where we can view and track payments. You can submit bids. I'm not sure if they rolled that part out yet, But there is a class for e-procurement, and it's for the public, and it's for the departments.
Does the e-procurement system also apply to the DOT? Because you got
Ours,
or is that separate?
it's separate,
Not separate.
but I'm pretty sure they have their own.
Oh,
Like,
they do, and you got to submit piles of time sheets.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So this one I can't stress enough, especially if you are ready to bid. Everybody's not ready to bid, but if you are ready to bid, we understand that government solicitations for bids, proposals, and qualifications contain a lot of information and may have mandatory forms to complete. However, non-responsive bids must be rejected. Rejected bids increase the cost of work to the city and may result in your firm not getting the contract. So I can't stress enough to read the whole document before you start writing up your bid. The telephone number and email address of the procurement staff assigned to your solicitation, which is what I just talked about, that's on the bid opportunity list, always refers to the person with questions. So if you have a question, contact that person because they're going to tell you as much information as they can about the bid. Make sure you know when the solicitation is due. The date and time is important. That goes back to if it says it's due at 11 and you try to walk through this door at 11:01, they're not going to take it, so don't be mad. Missing information can disqualify your bid. A missing signature, a math error, or the failure to complete all documents can be cause for a rejected bid. If you're a one-person office, give it to somebody to read it. If you got more than one person in your office, let somebody else read it. Because, you can miss something. But sometimes you got to put a fresh eye on something, especially before you submit. So let somebody else read it before you submit it to make sure it's correct. Programs and incentives. I am not going to read through all of these because you have them in the handout. Some of them are long. And they're all incentives to help you with a bid. So we have Diversity Credit Program, the Small Business Initiative, Project Area Residents. That's hopefully that a contractor is hiring people from the neighborhoods. Alternatively powered vehicles, where if you have electric cars in your fleet, it might help your bid. You got to have 10 or more owned or operated. The Mentor Protege Program. I love recommending the Mentor Protege Program to construction companies. So if you're a small construction company and you can find somebody who is willing to be your mentor, it's worth it. It has to be approved by a department. But if you, and we do not recommend, we don't do any recommendations. You have to find somebody on your own who's willing to mentor you. So if you're a concrete company who just started and you can get with a bigger concrete company, it's a good idea. They have to agree to be your mentor, and it has to be in writing what they're going to teach you. So it always has to be in writing. We have to approve it. And then why is it good? Because then hopefully they'll use you on a contract. It's like almost, they know what they taught you. They know you are good because they taught you. So you get on a contract and they get the credit for using you on their contract. Phased graduation for MBE, WBE firms. So this is good for you all because when you get to 38 mil, I forgot, it's 39 million when you graduate. And when all of you start making $39 million, I'm going to say it one more time, when everybody in this room starts making 39 million, we don't kick you out the program anymore. You used to get kicked out the program. So now you graduate, you gradually come out the program. When all of you get to $39 million, I'm going to say that many times, right, put it in the atmosphere that all of you are going to get to 39. You'd be surprised. We have some people at 39 million and they do not want to get out the program. They are highly upset. Well, what about the little guy who's still making $1 million? So we did, we started this phased graduation. It's only for M's and W's. It doesn't pertain to the DBE or anything else, but it's only for MBE, WBE firms. So you can read. I don't think so. I think it's only M&Ws. And the reason being is because you can be a VBE but not be a minority. So we do have some VBEs who are not minorities. So it's only for VBEs and Ws, for men, for minorities and women. So this is what I was saying, try not to stop with the city of Chicago, to look at all of these different agencies when you're deciding to look for contracts. So I probably need to check these phone numbers. I've been doing this class for a long time. So I probably need to check these numbers. But they did work when I first started this class. But what I said about going online and putting the / procurement, these are agencies that you could go to find out about contracts. And you'd be surprised, depending on what you do. And I always tell people to think outside the box when it comes to looking for contracts. You know, go to the University of Chicago, go to Northwestern, go to DePaul. They all have diversity programs. You'd be surprised what they purchase. They buy things. They have to have diversity contractors. So you want to try everybody. Nursing homes, daycares, all of these places usually are looking for vendors. So don't just stop with the city or the county. Sometimes you got to go to smaller places to look for contracts. A $500 contract this week is better than no contracts. So you have to try even the little places that you never thought of trying.
You said sister agencies, so that means if we're certified by the city, is that reciprocal for all these agencies?
They will accept our certification.
Really?
Yes. So all of these agencies accept.
Yes.
Yes. Pretty much everybody accepts the City of Chicago certification. The thing is, the City of Chicago is only going to accept ours or Cook County's. So if you come to the city, we don't even accept the state, but the state will accept ours, and their process goes faster. If you decide to go to the state to get certified, if you already have the city certification, that one goes a lot faster. They want to know, do you have the city certification when you go over to the state to get certified? And when you go to the state, it's because, and you get certified with them, it's a good thing because they are, of course, going to look for people who are on their list. But they want to know that you're certified with us. So yes, all these agencies do take the city certification as a MWD. Yeah.
Just a general question. My experience is more with the public transportation work, so locally funded projects of often are participation, whereas like project that I have funding, like the South Lake reconstruction project has a bunch of IDOT funding, so
Yeah, D.
you get DDE.
Yes.
So once you get your WBE or FBE, the next kind of step is to get certified with Illinois UCP for DBE.
So DBE, for anybody who doesn't know, DBE and ACDBE are federal programs, where MBE, WBE, VBE, BEPD are all local programs. So if you are working on a highway or train, metro, RTA, you need the DBE. I always tell people to do them both at the same time because it's almost practically the same documents. So if you are, and if you're a minority and you're a woman, do the M and the W at the same time. It's still $250. DBE and ACDBE is free, so you might as well do it all at the same time. So it doesn't make sense to go and get your W, wait for it to be completed, and then put in the D, because probably the same officer who's doing your M is going to do the D at the same time. Yes. Right, no. DBE is disadvantaged business enterprise. ACDBE is Airport Concession Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. So if you want to be a concessionaire at the airport, you need the ACDBE. But that means you're either going to be a concession or you're going to be doing something that supports the people going through the airport. So like if you're doing administrative management, you can get the ACDBE. But if you sell churros and you want a concession stand at the airport, you have to have the ACDBE.
You know, and what if you want to have security?
Wait a minute, wait. We'll do, finish yours here, because you had your hand up too, didn't you?
Yeah, I forgot about.
Okay, we'll go this way. Go ahead.
So, from a strategic point of view, what is percent of advocates on the
County side.
WPE for Cook?
Did you pay?
I haven't, it's,
Oh, okay.
but the work that I'm seeking is for public. So, I was hoping, like, if one goes hit the street, there's a box you can fill in, or, is there a particular, contract you would like to prime or be a sub to, whatever,
Mhm.
advertise? And if one of those pops up, I'd love to be able to call the guy and say, hey, you know, that one that's due in March, if I'm gonna extend, you know.
If it's March from right now, yeah, you'll be ready, because this is only August. But,
Like January. So what I don't wanna do is have that one in progress, submit again, let's forget about $250 and we can add it for 2 days to upload it. What happens if one doesn't go for some reason, even though it's all the same stuff?
what you mean, one doesn't go?
Well, if the WPE goes through, but the DBE does, like, you don't wanna apply for two things that are almost exactly the same, because if something happens to one of them, then it'll discredit the other one.
Well, if you
Even if
qualify
it's
for
the same
W,
content.
more than likely you qualify for the D, and vice
And I
versa.
have the simplest business, like.
Vice
I'm the only
versa.
owner, I mean, there's nothing complicated.
It's not gonna be like, we gonna deny you for the W, but give you the D. That rarely happens.
Okay.
Okay, let me get one of them if
Yeah, I know,
you're
but-
still thinking about it.
I know these are.
Sir?
How do you qualify for the discount?
It's pretty much the same as the M, yeah, but I have to say, go back and read the rules and regs. But it's pretty much asking you for the same documents. The size standard is different, which is meaning how much money you make. So, for the D is like 23 million, the ACDBE is 56 million. So are you close to one of those? Right. Well, if you're DBE, you still have to be, you should be the disadvantage. Like, if you are you partnered with somebody?
Yeah, it's like, well, right now it's still S5, but
Are you the majority owner?
yeah, I'm majority.
Okay, that's what we're looking for, that
I'm majority.
you're,
And I'm a minority, so.
right, there you go. Long as you are the majority owner. Is your partner white?
No, it's,
You gotta think about it.
yeah, I don't know, he's from Europe though, he's like European, so he's white.
He's white, but are you the majority
He's
owner?
one of the G7 countries, so pretty much. Yes,
What's your percentage?
I'm like 60%.
Okay. Make sure you have that right when you do when you do your certification. Right. Wait, let me get her and then I'll come back, unless you're gonna forget.
Go ahead and hit her, because I'm just.
Okay.
So, for example, if I look through this, bid book, and it says, it's, the column was like anticipated ad date.
Right.
What does that mean?
That's the date that it's gonna be in the bid opportunity list.
Okay, and then when you say procurement specialist attached to that bid, are they the person that, is responsible for when that bid goes all the way through?
Yes. So they'll be responsible for the whole process.
And is there anyone besides, on the,
No. They, that's why I say, like, BACP is before you're ready to bid, and, you know, just to help a small business. And then you come to, when you're ready to bid, then you come to procurement. But we have a class for how to bid. We have a class of how to respond to I think it's an RFP, yeah, which is a request for proposal, not necessarily a bid. So request for proposal is just, so the most one I remember is they had a request for proposal for advertising. Like they were looking for companies to come up with creative advertising. So companies came forward who were thinking outside the box of how to advertise the city of Chicago. So we have a class that tells you how to do a request for a proposal. But if you have questions on bids, you receive the bid and then you call. Like if it's something in there you just don't understand, what does this mean, then you call a procurement specialist. Yeah. Okay. You call the procurement specialist, yeah. But it's supposed to be straightforward. The questions in there are like straightforward. So for example, if she's doing security and they say that they are looking for security guards for a protest that they know is going to happen in front of City Hall. That's just an example because they're going to use police for that. But if they wanted security guards, then they're going to say, hey, we need 50 guards, armed or unarmed. So you need to know if they want armed, do you have armed? Do you have 50 of them? If you only have 10, don't make sense to bid because we want 50. You know, so you have to make sure are they licensed? You know, all of that is going to have to be submitted. Are you certified? We do have people who wait to the last minute to bid on something and they still have an application pending. You cannot have your application pending if you're about to bid because the letter that we give you has to be in the bid. Or if somebody's trying to use you as a sub, the first thing they're going to ask you for is your certification letter. And you have to be able to give them the letter so that they can consider you as their sub.
Right, so that's what you get, just the letter, you don't get a certificate.
No, we don't do a certificate, it's a letter. And for all you newbies, you're not going to get a new letter every year. You got to hold on to that letter. If you can't find it, it is in the system. It's in your file, NC2, you can reprint it. But you do have to do a no change affidavit every year, which is free. And every 5 years you do a recertification, which you have to pay the $250 again. But the application is not as long. We don't ask for as many documents in the recert, but you do have to do the recert every 5 years. Then you get a new letter. If you change your address and you submit your no change affidavit, we're going to give you a new letter because we're going to update your address. If things that you need to contact us, if you change your address, if you change your ownership, if you decide that, say you got certified in painting, but all of a sudden you decide you want to do drywall, you can request more codes. It's called an expansion. So if you want to request more codes, you can do that. You go back in the system the same way you did the application, and instead of saying new, so it's not a new application, it's an expansion request. And then you can ask for more codes, but you have to be able to prove that you can do whatever it is that you're asking for. Yes. Maybe 30 days. Yeah. 60, maybe. I'm sorry?
Can we do that before a year is over, or?
We ask for it 60 days before your due date.
Okay, so we get an email?
Yes, from the system.
Every year?
Yes, so whatever your due date is, if it's June 1, we want it on April 1. Yes, but you'd be surprised how many people don't pay attention to the letters. People don't pay attention. So sometimes they lose the letters or they submit it on June 1st, even though we asked for it on April 1st. And then they want to call us and say, did you finish my no change affidavit? Well, you just submitted it, so don't expect us to finish it that fast. That's why we asked for 60 days, yeah.
I'm certified, I do have.
What your letter say? No, I'm just playing.
I do have the certification from the Veterans Administration. Do you recognize it or can accept it? I know it's in my file, it shows Veterans Administration, small business, disabled.
Mm-hmm. Did you give MNV? Did I give you MNV?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we recognized it.
Okay. But it's a separate thing. Yeah.
No, so even anybody who wants the V, who is already certified, they just have to submit the DD 214 that says that they were honorably discharged from the military. Assist agencies. So assist agencies are pretty much a chamber of commerce that's in the neighborhoods. We have a handout that lists the chamber of commerce or the assist agencies that we work with. It's about 14 or 15 on the list. Some are better than others. And if you are familiar with a chamber of commerce, basically they just help you with business issues. Some have agencies come out and talk to their members. Usually if you're a member, you pay membership dues, but some of them are better than others. There's some on the north side, south side. We're not allowed to say which ones are better than the others. But you have to do your own research and find one that's in your neighborhood. And if the one in your neighborhood is no good, go to another one, because they'll take your $100 to be a member or whatever they charge. I'm not sure what they charge, but most of them have membership fees. So training and outreach, like I said, we are on YouTube, but we also have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, and our website. All the bid advertisement, the upcoming workshops, policies and procedures, and rules and regs are, of course, listed on our websites. I don't know anything about Twitter. I'm not even going to pretend. But they do put our events on Twitter, or if our commissioner is going to be somewhere speaking, they put it on Facebook and they put it on Twitter. Questions? So more questions. I think I got 9 minutes. Yes.
So this may be a little bit more specific to aviation, but I think there's a lot of joint ventures that happen.
Yes.
So is there like a list of, let's say, master concessionaires that would be open to taking a smaller minority business as a tier two?
That I don't know. We don't get involved in that, because what if something goes wrong with that joint venture? We don't want to say that we recommended this group or we recommended this restaurant group. Or so you can go on the page where I said awarded contracts. Yes. And look for, yes. So on the front page of our website at the top, there's an icon that says awarded contracts. You can check that. Or you can go to the same page where the certification information is and search ACDBEs. So you can, I'm pretty sure it lets you dig down. So if you ask for all the ACDBEs and then ask for restaurants or food service, I think they call them food service. So you want ACDBE food service. So then you can drill down to what you're looking for. But one is the awarded contracts, and then put in restaurants or bakeries or, yes, the ones who already have the contracts. But you can also you can do a search for ACDBEs.
Once in a while, you can find the bid takeout lists, and we'll actually have a contact person with their email and phone number. That's publicly available.
Well, yeah, I went to the meeting for aviation last week or something.
You don't have to go to those meetings to get those lists.
Well,
Well, it's good to go face to face.
Meeting, but if it's an old meeting, it's still available.
Yep.
Well, it was Assistant Commissioner of Aviation.
Yes.
Giving a meeting, so I went.
Yes.
And these are the types of questions that I was asking, and unfortunately,
He didn't know?
But we can talk about his agency right now. No problem.
I think they have something going on. Oh, it might be today. But they had something going on for aviation that was like a job fair.
Job fair.
I don't know if it was today or it's tomorrow. I know it's like this week.
It's this week.
I hope it's not today, but it might be tomorrow. Their website is iFly Chicago.
The 28th, I think it's tomorrow.
Right.
What was it, bid
Bid
takeout
takeout
list?
and it's today.
Bid takeout list?
The bid takeout list is on our website up under contract administration. So on the home page, under what we do, it'll say contract administration, click on that, and then bid takeout list. Yes.
Your workshops, are all your workshops provided by in-house staff? Or-
Yes, our commissioner is very committed to subject matter experts from our department. So most of our workshops are done by people who work in our department. Well, like you might go to business affairs and there's nothing wrong with that. They'll bring a marketing expert in to talk about marketing. They bring a lawyer in to talk about the law part of contracts, or to sit in there because you might not have money for a lawyer. So it's a good thing that they have a lawyer that sits in there, I think half a day. I don't think he stays all day, but he takes questions from small businesses who need a lawyer.
Yeah, I was looking into it, like they're coming to do a workshop on project management, small businesses, entrepreneurs.
Well, didn't talk to,
For the school, SBA.
then you should talk to BACP. Not, procurement isn't gonna do it.
Right now, we do BACP across.
Yes,
They bring in third party.
yes, they do, they do.
Subcontractors, are you allowed to, let's say I have a contractor, the city uses you on the county, state, can I, is that allowed?
Yeah, you can bid as many times as you want.
I just don't wanna do anything on the.
No, you can get as many. And then to let you all know, you don't have to be certified to bid. So the certification is good if you need to be a sub. So I always tell people, say the contract is worth $10,000 and you like, I can handle $10,000 contract by myself. But if it's a $10 million contract and you say, I can't handle a $10 million contract alone, that's when you need to start contacting people to see if you can become a sub. The thing is, you have to do the work to be selected to be a sub. People do, and I get this all the time, I hear it all the time, that people hire the same subs all the time. That's because they know they can depend on them, they know them, they work together. So you have to get that face-to-face so that they can see your face all the time and they decide, I'm gonna give you a chance. So you have to work your own magic to become a sub. But if it's a small contract and you know you can do it alone, then you can be the prime. Right, and then you might hire somebody. Hopefully you'll pull somebody else up. Yeah, so.
Yeah, my question about the AC, EVD,
Mhm.
to the secure for opportunities. Now, the business, you have to, if you bring a new type of business to, I'm sure it has to be approved by somebody, council. Say you have a business that's going to bring to the airport to your customers. So you have to have, I want to go in as a, not as a partner, but as a, just a vendor. It's like a new type of, I know, as you may know, like in this year, they're going to have to pass a law for marijuana.
Marijuana right now is very
It's not
tricky.
that. It's going to be like,
You wanna be the first airport concessionaire for marijuana?
no, it's going to be CBD.
Okay, well, the oils and lotions and all of that, I know. So we've been hearing so much about that right now, and it hasn't been something that we're deciding that we're gonna certify people in, because it's coming down from the state.
Yeah.
So no rules and regs and all that have been put into place regarding CBD and all these other products other than marijuana that you can sell. So you can become ACDBE and just say that you're gonna, there's a code for like stores. Like you can just say that you wanna, even if it's just like one of the, you know when you go to the airport and it's a store that's selling gum and candy and potato chips, concession. So you can start with that as an ACDBE and wait for all the rules and regs about CBD to come down, and then you could always expand. But right now, that's way too new for us to have any rules and regs about it. And right now, we don't even have a NAICS code that covers that. So we don't like other. NAICS code, so it's no NAICS code for that. You never told me what is your business? What's you and your partner's business? I went around the room before you got here. And where does the store part come in, or is that just something else you thought about? Something else? Okay. Well, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people thinking about it now because they're trying to decide how they can get into the marijuana game. But I'm sure it's going to be a lot of rules and regs around that. Cleaning. Okay.
You got Alderman quit the CBE or, opening up stores.
Who?
An Alderman quit.
An alderman?
Forget his name, but.
Oh, he's going to try to go in and be into that business? Oh, I didn't hear about that, but I wouldn't doubt it. Yes.
I'm looking in the plan, the plan,
Buy and plan? Yes.
contract, who do you call to get information? I see no contact.
Now, these books used to have contact information in the back. I don't know if it still does. I haven't picked up one in a while. I see the assist agencies are in the back. It used to. But like I said, there was a number. Yep, procurement. And then I had the number on the PowerPoint for city colleges. So you can always call and just ask for procurement, or you go on the website and put in /procurement, and it'll take you to that page. They're going to call it diversity. Their diversity program or procurement. Basically, you need procurement. If you see something in there that you know is going to come out, you want to talk to procurement. And you're already certified, because then you're going to let them know that you're certified, and they'll, answer your questions. So those different, like I said, they used to have the phone numbers in the book, but I gave you the phone numbers, and I already told you how to get on their websites. So I'm gonna cut off the microphone so that we can talk privately.